Someone once said, it was me, that there's no faster car down an unknown road than a modern Porsche 911 Turbo. And that's because they're stable, forgiving, comfortable, not overly big and still obscenely fast. There are faster cars, sure, but nothing that gives you that sense of invincibility when you don't know what's coming. Well, now there's a new one. And apparently it's even faster.
But it has come to a point where we're going to have to test this thing on a track first to see exactly what it can do, because it's a bit irresponsible to go absolutely full bore on a public road. So we're here at the Ascari race resort in Spain to figure some stuff out.
So what we have here is a 3.6 litre flat six with two turbos, but they're electric turbos. So they've got a little electric motor that goes on the shaft aft of the impeller, which means that you can spin them up whenever you want. So there's little or no turbo lag. And they also act as generators to feed back into the car's electrical system when they're off boost. So it's all very, very clever. Naturally, this engine will make about 630 brake horsepower, but it's also got Porsche's T-hybrid system. Now we've seen that on the GTS, which adds an electric motor into the 8-speed PDK gearbox, and that will force in another 80 brake horsepower or 140 pounds-feet of torque. Which means that after about 2000 RPM, this car just absolutely hauls. And it's instant. Almost like an electric. Blummin' heck.
Meaning that the Turbo S actually has over 700 brake horsepower and 590 pounds-feet of torque. The numbers don't add up properly, but that's what the system is capable of rather than what it actually does all out.
Fast? Yeah, really fast. I'm talking 0 to 62 miles an hour in 2.5 seconds and 200 miles an hour fast, which is a lot. And the brakes? Well, it's got 10 piston calipers on the front, 4 pistons on the back, and it stops about 50 feet before your brain does. I mean, I don't think I've felt brakes this good in a long time. Watch this, I'm gonna do a full brake. That's something serious. It doesn't feel crazy or scary, it just goes. And it sounds faintly industrial, but I'm never scared by it. It's really odd. And this little flick flack here, 1, 2, 3, it's super stable, super calm and confidence inspiring. It's got rear wheel steering and Porsche traction management for the all-wheel drive system, but it's also got an electro-hydraulic chassis control. So basically this car can organise its damping millimetrically. It can be altering one wheel at a time to make itself feel super stable, super comfortable. And if I just chuck this car in and then boot it, it just manages everything. It gives you that ability to be on a road and be quite soft, and then on racetrack, actually be super firm. And I can hear the turbos working. There's very little wastegate chirp. It's more like they just come off boost. But everything about this car is about confidence, is about being able to just throw it in and have fun. Watch this. This is a long right. Good God. I don't think this car is as clinical as something like a GT3 RS. It's definitely not as visceral, but I actually think that it's possibly faster for normal people because it's just so confidence inspiring. And it's also 85 kilograms heavier than the last version. Oh, but I think it feels faster, and that's really weird. I mean, the criticism is slightly that it kind of feels like it's not feeling as quick as it really is. So it's a bit of a surprise when you enter a corner and you're possibly doing another 20 miles an hour faster than you think. And these paddles behind the steering wheel, I think they could be a little bit bigger. but just the confidence that you have turning into corners. Things that I thought would be a lift are actually flat. Now, I'm not a huge follower of Nürburgring Nordschleife lap times, but this new Turbo S is apparently 14 seconds faster than the old model at around 7 minutes and 3 seconds on a full lap. Now, that place is more like a bumpy road than a proper racetrack, so that cannot be ignored. And some of that is down to the way it looks, or at least the active aerodynamics. Now, on the Turbo, at the front, you have these vertical front slats which can stay open for cooling or they close for low drag. There's also a spoiler under here which can pop forward, again to reduce lift at the front, and then there's an active diffuser under here which can either open for cooling and to reduce front end lift again, or stay shut for low drag. Now, the interesting thing about the diffuser is there's a sensor in the wheel arch and it knows whether it's raining. So if it's raining a lot, it stays shut so that water doesn't get thrown onto the brake discs and make them less effective. It's all very clever. Then you get tinted HD matrix headlights, they're LEDs, which aggregate all the functions of the lights into one unit, makes the face look a lot cleaner. Then you get wheel arches that are 45mm wider at the front and some 20mm wider at the rear, so it's got that very butch stance. You get the air intakes in the side panels here, and you see this colour around the windows and on the slats of the rear wing. That's called Turbo Night, and you only get it on turbos. And then at the back, you get the usual Turbo S adaptive rear wing, which comes up and out with these extra sort of little finials on the end to capture even more of the air flowing down over the rear windscreen. Then at the back, you get a redesigned rear end with a titanium exhaust, which is good for both sound and weight saving. It doesn't look that flash, but there are lots of really lovely details, like these little vents that just come out of the top of the rear wheel arch and around the rear light bar. I like it. Inside, it's largely familiar to anyone that's ever had a 911, and as standard, the Turbo S comes with no rear seats, though you can have little jump seats put in as a no-cost option. It's also got a large frunk, so it's actually quite practical. As usual, you get some really lovely 18-way adjustable leather seats with Turbo S embossing, the usual multifunction steering wheel, drive mode selector here. There are only 4 modes, so it's wet, normal, sport and sport plus. You can change all sorts of things on the dial set. You can have a nose lift, which is very useful, and that runs off the 400-volt system, so it's very quick. You can make the exhaust a bit noisier, you can switch traction control off, you can mess with the Porsche dynamic chassis control here. It's one of those cars that just feels very natural, very normal, and I absolutely adore the ergonomics. So basically, you can get perfectly comfortable in this car, and that's whether you're on a racetrack or on a road. They are superlative when it comes to being comfy in all situations. Other than that, it's not too flash. Oh yeah, and it's also launched as a cabriolet, which only comes as a 4-seater.
Basically, this doesn't feel like a racetrack refugee. It's more daily use than something like a GT3, and it shows. There's more luxury. And one little aside, you can also get a Turbo S watch with a little ring around the dial the same colour as your car, and the winding wheel in the same shape as your alloy wheels. And I can't decide whether it's really cool or not. But that's the thing about the 911 Turbo. It's always been more practical and subtle than the GT series cars. It was always a road car first.
You'll be pleased to know that the 911 Turbo away from the track is basically even more epic, because this is what a Turbo S always was for me. It was about being an absolute weapon on the road, and this new one, it delivers. And it's not because it's the hardest or most aggressive version of the 911, because it's not. See, what the 911 Turbo S is really good at is duality. Here I am in the countryside, enjoying a nice drive. The car is small enough to get down these country roads. It's quiet, it's serene, it's fun. And then if I want to go faster, I just spin this little wheel here, and then when I put my foot down, it's an absolute headbanger. And it just makes me feel like a hero all the time. The way this car gets down a road is faintly unreal. Look, it just makes over there, here, and there doesn't seem to be any intervening bits in between. Woo! And it's completely linear. It makes power from 2,000 to all the way up to 7,200 RPM. It's got slightly smaller electric turbochargers than are in the GTS. But there's two of them, and they work. And you know what? I reckon it makes it one of the fastest cars on the planet when you don't know what's coming around each corner, because it gives you the confidence to play with the car without feeling like you're going to get spat off the road. That's what makes it fast. That and the brakes, because if you thought they were good on track, they are epic on a road. The Turbo S is, for me, still the benchmark. It is absolutely fabulous.
In fact, the only real criticism of the Turbo S is that it doesn't exactly sound desperately special inside the car, even at the top of the rev range. You can blame the muffling effects of turbos for that, and the paddles are a little bit small for absolute comfort. Oh, and the fact that 99% of people just aren't prepared for how fast it arrives. Look once and it's over there, look back and it's already here.
Oh, I was worried that Porsche may have forgotten what a Turbo S really was, that they were chasing lap times. They haven't. This thing's awesome. I'll be blunt, there are faster and more powerful road cars out there, but this Turbo S's mixture of brutality and confidence is, well, it's pretty much unmatched. It's relatively unassuming, it's blisteringly quick, but it gives you the kind of invincibility feeling that you don't get anywhere else. It costs just under £200,000, but that feels like value, because this is currently the best point-to-point road car out there, made by anyone.